Hi, and welcome to this Business Solutions podcast and video interview. I'm Jim Roddy, the president of Jameson Publishing and Business Solutions Magazine. Thank you for joining us today. As always, we're here to provide actionable information on how VARs can sell more products, penetrate thriving vertical markets, and improve their business operations. We're coming to you today from the press room of the SYNNEX Spring Training Sales Conference being held at Skydome in Toronto. And our guest today is Robert Moore from Axis Communications. He's the country manager for Axis, and they are an IP video manufacturer. Robert, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
So our audience for this conversation is resellers, and so a lot of resellers are looking to get into new markets. Which ones do you think are good vertical markets that somebody should pursue, especially during this down economy?
That's a really good question. The market that comes to mind first is government, and that would be government in all aspects, whether it's hospitals, schools, here in Canada, municipal, provincial, at the federal level. That seems to be still a very strong segment, and that's where I've seen the biggest amount of success for this year so far.
And so can you talk about some of the challenges of getting into the government vertical outside of maybe longer lead times, bid processes, things of that nature?
You know, the government business is quite a bit different than the private sector. You still need to do the same things you would do in normal selling. And you're right, the lead times and how you sell in the government is going to be different. Oftentimes it's going to be done through a bid situation. But, I think companies can adapt and get into that market either by hiring somebody who's already in that field, leveraging companies such as ourselves who's already doing well in that sector, and seeing how they can partner to move into that side.
And so what's the first step that they can do in order to learn more about it? Like you said, leveraging your company. How exactly would they go about doing that? Who do they call? What steps? What are they going to be getting themselves into?
Well, I think really if they're going to be selling my products and trying to get into that vertical, I think the critical thing is to learn more about Axis Communications. We have regular educational seminars, our certification courses through Axis Communications, and getting that knowledge set on our products will give them one of their first steps.
And then what role can a distributor play? We're here at the SYNNEX conference, so folks listening to this or viewing this, SYNNEX might be their distributor, they might have another distributor. How else can a distributor help them get involved as well?
A distributor can really help in terms of the leads that they can get, and that they can, if they know a company that they're working with is looking to get in that vertical, then they can funnel leads to them. There's open systems, where bids come out and you can get an idea of where that's going. The distributor could also perhaps introduce to them consultants who are in that sector. That can help as well.
Got it. So you don't have to go it alone. There's vendor partners out there, distributor partners who are really eager to help. Exactly.
I mean, there's going to be market specialists in each vertical at a distributor, and certainly SYNNEX is a company like that.
Got it. Good. So that was vertical markets, and so 2009 has been a difficult year for a lot of folks. But you have some VARs who are successful this year despite the economy. What do you see them doing that maybe some resellers can take that advice and apply to their own business?
Yeah, if I did a tour of the country to all my major integrators and resellers a month ago to see the lay of the land and how they were doing in this economy. And it was surprising. It didn't matter what part of Canada I was in. Mm-hmm. The sales for security products, in particular this year, have been quite healthy over last year. So in many respects, it doesn't look like there's any economic downturn in terms of my industry. So for companies who aren't selling physical security products over IP, and they're looking for a new market, I think this represents a really nice growth market. So even in a down economy, business has been healthy, at worst just steady. So it's knock on wood,
right,
good space right now.
And security is a market that's a good market in terms of people are looking to do more security in their business. They're not, taking that down. If they're cutting back in their business, that's not an area they're cutting back.
Yeah, it's really odd. If I take one extreme example, you've heard of, the auto crisis, where all the automakers and the parts suppliers are in dire straits. The largest parts supplier in North America recently purchased a large amount of Axis cameras. So even companies that are really under stress from other reasons still have security that they need to take care of.
Right.
So it becomes a priority.
Great. So government and security are two things that resellers should look into, whether they're in Canada or whether in the United States. It all applies in North America.
In the U.S. and in Canada, that would be a correct statement.
Great. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Hopefully our discussion has given you some pointers, actionable information that you can take and apply to your business and show some growth in this very difficult economy. Before we go, I want to say thanks again to Robert Moore from Access Communications for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to SYNNEX for inviting us to this conference here in Toronto. Business Solutions is the only media outlet that's here, and we've been afforded some exclusive interviews such as the one that we had just here, and we really appreciate the invite. And thanks to you so much for listening and for watching to this podcast and video interview. Our goal at Business Solutions is to provide growth strategies for the IT channel. For more information, log on to our website at www.bsminfo.com.